away for our match. Of course, we will be having Africa versus Hungary. I'll go through the lineups quickly through this first corner. Schwamm, Ulte and Sirme versus Eger, Benzo and Marcel. So, we will start off with Ulte. You can see the African squad finding themselves a bit near the back of the pack early on. However, main thing is about full speed is building up your speed through most of the track, which you can see now is paying off for the Africans, as you can see them finding their way to the top of the pack. Do find Sirme slightly behind though. Ulte went very close to the inside there. We'll go to Sirme as so we can get a little bit of a bird's eye view here. He is not too far behind the rest of the Hungarians at all, so mistakes are still affordable at least for the Africans, but at least the players at the top can afford to save, and they will get themselves in rather convincingly with a 1, 2 and a 4 going their way. So the round will go Africa's way, and they go up 1-0 versus Hungary. So that is off nicely, no major mistakes there, which is nice to see. And we'll be getting ourselves underway with round 2 though. We will stick with Sirme. A little trick going down into that. Sirme though goes a bit too wide there. Has a bit too much of an angle going into there, so his speed slide didn't really pay off. Regardless, he needs to pick up the pace for his team here. Whereas Ulte, at least at the moment, he has fallen back, and he is going to be one of the key players for Africa in full speed. But speaking of key players, Schwamm of the African lineup has fallen, so we have no hotkeys for any Hungarians. Nice. Oh, Eger makes a big mistake though, and Benzo is out actually as well, so I had the place to be African round there, and it looks as if none of the Africans finish whatsoever. I have absolutely no idea what happened there to Marcel. He doesn't finish, Eger doesn't finish, and neither does Benzo, so that's a bit of an embarrassing round in the books for Hungary there. And I had that in the bag there, but unfortunately the round goes once again to Africa for them, so and there we go. Regardless, we will go into our next round and we will stick with Eger. Oh, pardon me. So, we are going forward. We are 2-0 in the lead for Africa. Bit of a shambles of a last round there, but regardless, they managed to pull it off. Out with Eger here, and you can see the difference between full speed players naturally against players of which who are not normally specialising in this as their discipline. Eger, of course, primarily a tech player. As you can see, he actually gets overtaken by his compatriot Benzo. I thought that was a nice camera angle there, but it's Sirme who finds himself near the back still, but that will be another African round. So, Ulte, Schwamm and Sirme first, third and fifth. And at the moment, it is an African domination here, and they do not have anything in the bag to be stopping. Hungary don't have anything in the bag to be stopping the march of the Africans, but we'll go to Marcel here, so it seems to be the kind of brightest light so far for Hungary, and we will see what they have in store for us in round, I believe this is number 4, yes it is. So you can see the Ulte with a much better line going through there, getting a lot better of a speed slide. And Marcel, however, gets the unintentional slide. As you can see, he flies all the way off the track. For that kind of turn, you want to no slide it, so you want to keep your grip going through it, just so you can keep the angle. And Sirme maybe biting off a bit more than he could chew there. However, Schwamm and Ulte once again showing how it's done. Why do I only have a hotkey for Sirme? That was a bit ridiculous. Thanks, game. Anyway, Ulte and Schwamm take it. First and second once again, and nice times to secure the 4th round on the board for Team Africa. So we go to Schwamm. who seemed to be the MVP here along with Ulte. And Africa looking to extend their dominance on this map. And you can see here Schwamm very far ahead. You can see even on the timings just down the bottom right there. Marcel second. Ager third. Mistakes being made at least by Sirme it looks to be. And Ulte as well having some trouble. But let's see, where's Benzo? Benzo might be important here, as if they overtake... never mind. The Hungary player, I believe that was Marcel flying off into the distance. And that is Marcel out of the round. And there we are. 5-0, and the match of full speed between Africa and Hungary goes the way of Africa with a 5-0 lead, and they win this sub-match. So very good job there to the Africans, showing that at least had a lot more depth in the full speed lineup. However, that then brings the score to 5-0. Now we will move on to well, actually, we're moving on to the dirt map, I believe. So let's wait and see what kind of players we have coming up on the dirt lineups for these respective teams. First of all, check out the Deddy Manias. This is WTC Algorithm by Desca. I've seen this quite a bit on stream. However, we will look from the bottom up. We see Itachi here, 56,775. Let's see. Sapphire, 56.366. And do we have any others? Doesn't look like we do, so. Yep, no further players at least there. However, if we look in our locals, we have the likes of Sirme here. And Knight Jr., who seems to have ran this track as well. However, no Hungarians. That's a bit strange to see. Hungary seem to always have a relatively consistent dirt lineup. They might not have the kind of players who are going to set the world on fire, but they're definitely not a strong lineup. Not a poor lineup by any stretch of the imagination. But nevertheless, they still do have a lead to overturn. That lead being 5-0 to the Africans. So, you will see. Vega has a 56.2. Interesting. So we'll get an idea from watching likes of Itachi here as to see what these players have in store for us. Hello Kens, nice to see you, man. So you're signed up as well, nice to see you back playing. Missed you, man. Missed you too much. So the prediction is 5-5. I think at least definitely Africa are going to get some rounds. Purely for the fact of Sirme, Itachi and Sapphire being absolutely no slouches of players themselves. I mean, Sirme and Sapphire, I believe, long time Fox players. Fox being, of course, a very well-renowned dirt team. Hungary putting up their lineup here, though. Ager, Sogi and Zoo. I still haven't figured out how to say his name properly, and I always feel bad when I say it. And you see a Sogi, showing that he is well trained on this, 56.5. So he's definitely going to be no walkover. Well, I'll wait to see what kind of fight the teams can put up though. We'll have Ager on the track. Again, the tech player, but also Ager a very versatile player, it must be said. Interesting to see the different trajectories there. You can see the likes of Sirme went inside and dropped the gear, whereas you see Sogi and Zoo, I believe it was primarily, who went for a very outside line there, tried to keep the gear as much as they could to ensure they had as much speed as possible on the exit of that turn. There's a few interesting parts in this track though. Example, this section here, it is much faster to no slide that corner. However, it is also much more difficult. We are still doing some warm-ups, and then we will get underway with the second of our sub-matches. Reminder, the full speed was 5-0 to Africa. So they are currently in the lead, and we are waiting to see what the Hungarian response would be onto one of the more, one of the stronger disciplines, though it must be said. And you can definitely see perhaps Hungary have been training offline, or at least have not had deadies enabled, or been on time attack or something like that. But when they're putting in their Deady Manias now, all in warm-ups, I'd imagine at least they've got some ace in the hole. Last warm-up, and then we will be underway. Welcome Findus and welcome Forever. Nice to see you both. Here it does seem to be the approach from Soggy at the very least. Seems to be paying off for him. Gonna see what hotkeys we have. We have a lot of hotkeys. This is like Christmas for us. And there we go. Watch him speed on into the distance. It was not intentional. Regardless, have Soggy take us through algorithm for the last time before we go live. Doesn't go for the no slide there. It is slightly faster again, but this definitely will be a closer sub match, it must be said. No tech yet, Kins. Quick run through. We have had full speed, which has been 5-0 to Africa, and then we go on to dirt, which is just about to go live, and then we will have tech last. So, good luck and have funs in the chat. And we are going live with dirt between Hungary and Africa. Not normally nations you see going against each other. Of course, Hungary, a relatively strong team, but a relative underdog, it must be said. And Africa forming together for one of the first times, if I'm correct. But we will keep our eyes on the man who has been kind of setting these warm-ups alight here. Soggy starts off well. However, Zoo makes the first major mistake in this sub-match. Oh, and Soggy makes a mistake though. So this is a strong start for the Africans. Soggy doesn't adjust his line despite having less speed. Doesn't look like he's trained to avoid that crash at the very least. Oh, Sapphire was a little bit wide there, but going onto the road does allow him to at least stay on track. Ager is in second place here, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough when the rest of the positions for the top four are all occupied by the men in red, with Surimi and Sapphire leading the pack. Sapir, however you say his name. Okay. I don't know. But anyway, it looks as if it's going to be a top 3 even for Africa. And they do take the first round and extend their lead in this match to 6-0. So, good job there by the Africans. Surimi leading the way with 56.5. So, good job by him. Getting his server PB at the very least. Here's Sapphire keeping his gear, and you can see he overtakes players like Itachi as a result. Or he would have if he had a better line, but Surimi going too close to the inside there. And he does crash, and he crashes big. Oh, mistakes being made though. Mistakes by Ager and Itachi here, so that leaves Sapphire in a 2v1 up here at the top. So we'll see if he can catch up on any of his opponents. Let's have Zoo quite a far way ahead. Zoo, however, makes a little bit of a mistake there. You do have a 2-10s lead though. Zoo is getting scrappy here. Zoo's not looking too hot here. However, he is overtaken. Soggy needs to keep his cool here. Needs to bring this round home for Hungary. Let Zoo do the heavy lifting in the battle against Sapphire. And it looks as if he is coming through with the round win. Top 2 going the way of Hungary and their first round on the board. So there we go, it is 1-1 on dirt and 6-1 in total to Africa at the moment. So the Africans dominating the proceedings as of yet. However, is the one round the start of many for the Hungarians? Let's move over to... Right, we don't have any Hungarians, never mind. We'll watch Ager. Surimi taking the lead here though. However, the pack is close behind them. Takes will be critical here. See, Sirme makes one. A bit of a lead now, but he does seem to have lost that. Ager goes for a much wider entry, gains speed going through here. And does catch up and overtakes and is into the lead. Ager fighting with one red and the rest of his teammates in blue. This is a great situation here for Hungary at the moment. It is going to be a tight finish by the looks of things, but Zhu and Ager look to have the top two and secure the second round in a row for Hungary with two good times, 56.5s. Good jobs for them. And it is not yet done and dusted, this map. It might have been a 5-0 for the... Might have been a 5-0 for the Africans in full speed, but as I said, that is definitely does not mean this is over. Sirime makes a mistake, Zhu makes a mistake, so the top-in points at the very least for both respective teams are down early. Sirime makes a further mistake though. Let's go up to our other players, if it will let me. Sapphire here, who is in third position here at the moment, slightly behind Ager. He is staying behind Ager here. Itachi need to pick up the pace and get himself in the mix. Do what he can to put the pressure on the Hungarians, force them into mistakes. Sapphire going for it here, but he's just not getting the lines of which he needs. However, Soggy makes a small mistake there. Sapphire's going for it for some risky lines, but the mistakes are not made by the Hungarians, and they do take their third round in a row. So we are at 3-1 for the Hungarians, and they will be wanting to close this match out as soon as possible to eliminate any possible points for the Africans. And we are now at 6-3 in the total score. So the tech is definitely going to be an important part of this match. However, the Africans will look to give themselves as solid a lead as possible going through here. Let's go over to Itachi here. Been keeping himself round about the middle of the pack, but he is the points and the lowest in points here at the moment. So he is the one of which the African players will be looking to pick up the pace. However, it is not looking promising for him, at least in this round. He is at the back. However, trailing behind him is Zhu. Zhu might be able to pick up that position, but we will go up to the top, and it is Ager versus Sirime. However, Sirime has a small blunder there. However, it does look to be a Hungarian round still. Second and third are in the way of Africa, but they do not have any remaining positions, and Ager secures the win, and that round once again goes to Hungary. Itachi being overtaken by Zhu in what was the crucial battle there. And it is now 4-1 to Hungary. Can they limit any possible points gained and go into tech with a 1-point advantage to Africa? Or will Africa be able to claw back more rounds? Will they be able to seat themselves in the best possible standing? Get themselves in the best possible standing, pardon me. Bad English from a Scotsman. To be expected, of course. But, oh, shaky there going through there. Sapphire especially, you can see again the different trajectories. That's what's very good about dirt, is there's a lot of different ways you can take these corners, depending especially on your skill level and the likes of being able to keep the gear and things like that. You do not have hotkeys, we're angry. There we go, we'll go to Zhu, who is at the top here with Soggy, followed by Itachi. Itachi finally having a good round here, however it does look to be too little too late. Doing what he can, try to fight through the crowd, but it's a top 3 for Hungary, a top 3 in the top 4 for Hungary, and they will take the dirt 5-1, and they do secure the sub-match of dirt, and they move on to tech, being only 1 point behind. So, looks like we have a very interesting tech match in front of us. Of course, the top performers in that dirt being Ager, Sapphire, and Soggy primarily. So it is tech time, as Ken says. We are going to move on, and we'll look to see what kind of lineups we will be seeing from the players from the respective teams. We are on the wrong map. You don't have a Dedimania record on this map yet, that's correct. I've never played it in my life. So we will be moving on to the tech map WTC Amaryllis by Kezar and Javzo. So I'll wait to see what kind of players we will have it out in the track. So, first of all though, we will check the Dedimanias. We get an idea. We will have... Where are they? Oh, yeah, 51985. And another one we have here is Ager, a 51825. Seems the Polish players are training quite heavily. As to be expected, I guess their lineup isn't as strong as they would like, or at least as in-depth for a multi-environment lineup as they would like, pardon me. But who else do we have on track? We have Ager, of course, as expected, Salvatore for Hungary, Daniel on track as well. And looking on to the African lineup, we have Yas, I believe was a Rewalls player, if I'm correct. We have Yaya, former E-Corp player, was also part of Delta and the Low Battery Clan lineup. And Softy B, the captain of the team, coming out. Not sure if any of the other players have trained this map. At least the locals show us there's only 3 players from the African lineup who are looking to be playing here, and that is the ones of which you see on track. With Daniel, Ager and Salvatore will be the Hungarian lineup. So we will be getting underway after the warm-ups have completed. Wait, I even typed to him. Controller fell. Rip. I'll type, yo, Mr. Streamer Man. Why does it matter where he lives now? Oh well, that was just a bit of a debate I was having with people in regards to the hold on. So our controller is not broken. Nice. Good, controller's not broken, and we are still going through some warm-ups here. But yeah, we're just basically going on a point. I remember I was talking with a few people about the African lineup as a whole, and as to how the majority of the players, at least in it, are from people, at least you would say, would also have a case to play for France. So it was that was just the kind of point being made, as normally you'd expect to see these players in a French lineup, as what I believe the gist of the argument is. Do 100. Full speed was won by the Africans, 5-0. Dirt was won by the Hungarians, 5-1. So we go into this 6-5 in favour of the Africans. And we will be moving forward with this as soon as the players are ready. Still some warm-ups underway though. Hi, Ager. So, if you guys want another perspective, I guess you can also check out Shaduk, who is streaming this match as well. But at least he can tell you the results of the previous match. Can't remember exactly who that was between, but I think it was the Baltics and someone else. Regardless, 2 warm-ups after this and we will go. So having quite a lot of warm-ups here. I mean, I do think, well, I'm more of the school of thought of players having a single representation. A singular representation they make in countries at the very least. But I do like at the very least that we are at the very least having another nation, or at least another team within a Nations Cup. I mean, I don't have as much of a problem with that, but yeah, I mean, it's... Some people can look upon this as basically being another French squad with the amount of players, at least it's hard to find the right word for it, because not origin, because I understand that some of these players do have an African origin. That is the whole point of it. But I was always more of the school that at least you play for one country. Like, I would play for the UK. I wouldn't, or of course Scotland if that was an option. But regardless, that is a discussion for another time. We are looking at least at the warm-ups, and it looks to be that Hungary have the edge. I mean, Eger known as being a very kind of high-level tech player, so we'll expect great things out of him. We'll expect consistent good rounds, and we will hope to see at least some close rounds here. However, it does strike to me at least these sort of teams are don't have the most depth in the tech department, at least for those that are playing at the moment. GLHF, and we are having no GLHFs, apparently. 5, I don't know what's happening. Can I assume it's live here at the moment? And it's not, because no one else is driving. Ah, right, so Night Junior was just restarting it. WTF Poland, says Krim. I don't know what he's talking about. Eger triggered. Triggered. Ah, it didn't work. I tried. Egered. There we go. Right, so the good luck have fans. We are seeing them, and we will be seeing the first round of the tech map between Africa and Hungary. So, we will be going live into round number 1. Again, a reminder, Africa do have a 1-point advantage, but they are not looking in the best shape for the tech map, and it is shown by Yas, our first player, making a big mistake early on, and he is down and out of the route. However, Daniel is having some trouble as well. Let's go up to my teammate Eger, who is fighting for the lead with Yaya here at the moment. Yaya being one of Africa's strongest tech players. However, Yaya falls, and Yaya is out of the round. So it looks to be a relatively convincing one here for Hungary. However, you never know with any kind of mistakes which might happen. Eger looking strong here though. Like he's trained this map well. And Eger will take the round with a 52-0-4. And Salvatore takes second, and Daniel takes fourth. So the round goes the way of the boys in blue, and they, for the first time since the start of the match, are equal in points with Africa once again. So we move on to round number 2. Let's go to Yas again, see if we're likely to see a mistake. However, not at least by Yas this time, by his compatriot Softy B, who is the one to fall down this time. However, the player for Hungary, Eger, has fallen already, making much the same kind of mistake, and now this is looking good for Africa. Yaya and Yas up at the top. Salvatore and Daniel are not far behind though. We see Salvatore diving in here. Let's go to him. Let's watch his fight to overtake. He's got 2 players in front of him though. Goes relatively wide here. Not the best of lines. You can see he is falling down very slightly. However, he gets a good exit out of the magnet section. However, only 1 turn remaining, and Salvatore will not be able to do enough, and the round will go to Africa by virtue of having the top 2. Softy B secures 5th just to get them the extra points on the board. And for a quick run through of our results so far, so we have had Full Speed going 5-0 to Africa, we have had Dirt going 5-1 to Hungary, and we are now at 1-1 on Tech at the moment. So we are in the third round here of Tech, and Africa are currently in a 1-point lead, so they are 7-6 ahead in total score here. Salvatore goes to inside on the drift there, does fall. Let's go to Yaya here. In the two powerhouses of each team, Yaya and Ager will do battle here. Yaya made a mistake there last time, but he keeps it all tight, keeps it well and under control. And Ager looks to have made another mistake here. So Africa maybe going to run away with this one here. All Africa need to get is 4 points and they will have secured at least a draw. Yaya looking strong here though. We'll stick with Ager actually, as Ager's the closest one to Yaya at the moment, but it doesn't look like to be. Ager will be able to do enough, and he won't. So the crucial position being Faf, and Daniel gets it, so that round will actually go to Hungary, as Yas made too big of a mistake and was not able to prevent Daniel getting 5th place. And now Hungary are level again. Can they overtake is the question. Can they take the lead in points? We will see. Let's go to Daniel this time. Made a mistake last round, but let's see if he can get it back under control. When Daniel makes a big mistake. And you're looking like the weak link at the moment, at least for Hungary. But we'll move over to Softy here, who makes a slight error there. Softy is kind of the key player here. He might not be the fastest player, but with the Hungarians making the mistakes, he'll be the one that needs to take advantage of that. He has the most to gain in these sorts of rounds. Yaya and Ager battling once again for first, but Salvatore might prove to be the bane in their side. Ager needs to get fast here. Let's go to this battle at the front. Who's going to have it? Ager gets some more inside line, and he just stays ahead of Yaya and does secure the round as a result by 1/100th of a second by Ager with a 51.95, which is a great time by the Hungarian, securing the round win for them and securing for the first time the lead in points. 3-1 so far in Tech, and that means we are up to 8 to 7 actually in total scoring. So the Hungarians will look to continue with the momentum, especially now Yas has made a mistake. It is left all on the broad shoulders of Softy and Yaya. Let's see if they can pull their weight for Africa. Or are they just going to continue to bang their heads against the wall? Softy's banging his car against the wall. Softy is out of the round. As long as the Hungarians don't make mistakes, it doesn't matter what Yaya does here. At the moment, actually, Yaya does decide to go for a little vacation there, flies off the track, and the round, I think, will go to Hungary, but there's a lot of mistakes here. Yas is second despite being the first person to crash. Salvatore will at least get third, so it looks as if the round will go Hungary's way, and it will. So quite a scrappy round there. Definitely not the best rounds, definitely not what both of these teams are capable of. Nevertheless, we will see if they have more in store for us, but Hungary are on match point. They are 9 to 7 ahead. They need to win this round. They have 2 rounds in the bag, I believe. They basically need to stop Africa from getting to 4, so that's actually 3 rounds in the bag if you think about it that way. However, there has been mistakes aplenty at the start, and the key player, of course, Yaya for Africa, is down. Yas makes another mistake, so he will not finish in front of Daniel. So it is all resting on Softy and the remaining Hungarian players. Salvatore makes a mistake though. Softy moves up. Where's Yaya going to be? He needs to overtake Salvatore here for them to have a chance, and it looks like he will get it. The battle for first isn't as important here anymore. But Softy makes another mistake. That could be the death knell for Africa here. Rains on the plains of Africa are falling, and the Africans are going home with no points from this match, as the Hungarians take the win. And in fact, no, they don't actually. Pardon me. Big mistakes there from Salvatore and Daniel. I mean, they had a lot of seconds in the bag there and they threw that all away, so pardon me for getting a bit too ahead of myself, but we do have Africa back in the matchup. And a mistake, 2 mistakes being made by Hungary. Is this Hungary cracking under the pressure? They only have Daniel left up at the top. And Yaya this time has not crashed. So let's see what Yaya is capable of. Let's see if Yaya can fly the flag for Africa once more. Oh, Yaya gets a crash. He does make contact with the wall, and Yas makes yet another mistake. Where is Daniel? Daniel is actually at the front. Salvatore is here. Where is Ager? Ager's made a big mistake. It's going to be important for Ager's position. Daniel needs to keep the lead here, though. It looks as if it's going to be first and fourth for Hungary. So who's going to get fifth? I think Yas managed to get it. So Yas keeping Hungary in it. Despite such big mistakes being made by the players, it's all coming down to who gets fifth position. Because we have a draw the first through the fourth. And now Ager's the one to make a mistake. One more round for Africa and they have secured at least a draw. One more round for Hungary and they have secured the win. Salvatore needs to perform here. He is one of the points leaders for Hungary, but he makes contact with the ball and he is down and out of this round. However, we've seen a lot of mistakes from France, but there's another from Hungary. All down to Ager and down to the mistakes of the African lineup. But Ager is only in second position here. And even at that, he has company. So as of the way it stands, this will be Africa at least securing a draw here. Hungarians look too far behind to capitalise on any mistakes. However, Daniel's overtaken. Softy and Yaya need to keep it clean here. Yaya does. Softy gets him through in third. And there we go. It is 4-4 now. So now if Africa win this round, they have won the match. They have at least secured a draw. However, now to secure the draw, Hungary have the pressure on. So we will move on to the final round of this match. Ager makes a mistake early. Ager seems to be cracking. Only got 6 points in the last 3 rounds, and that is not enough for a player of Ager's talent. And Hungarians, his fellow compatriots, don't seem to have been able to kind of secure rounds in his absence. And Daniel crashes once again. And it has been a tale of the Hungarians getting a full head of steam under them and then all blowing out from under them. Had the tech match in the bag as well. 4-1 was the lead. But it looks as if this is going to go the way of the Africans. Ager is already retired. Complete disaster, says. And Hungary lose. The match goes to Africa. Africa take it. They take it with 5 points in tech, 1 point in dirt, and 5 in full speed for 11 points. And Hungary only get 9. So Hungary let themselves down a little bit there at the end. It must be said, a bit of a surprising performance there from Hungary on the tech map, but nevertheless, they are done. They at least lose their first match and they will go forward into the loser bracket. Africa will move forward into the winner bracket. Let's see where that will put them in the groups. Give me a second. The groups available somewhere. I'll try and find them. Second. Right. So we have Africa moving forward to face against the winner of Denmark and Poland. And let's see, that will be winner bracket 1.8. So let's see, loser bracket 1.8. Give me 1 second, a lovely notification coming in. So they go against the loser of winner bracket, 1-4, which will be the Baltics and South America. So whoever's the loser of the previous match, which was streamed by Shaduk, And well, actually, it should coming in with the host there with the 3 viewers. Thank you very much, man. But that is us done for today. That is us done for the castings of the Nations Cup. There are so Baltics won against South America. So that will then be South America going against Hungary, which will be a very interesting match. Sorry, and that will then be. The Baltics will move against the winner of North America, we'll just classify that as, and Czechoslovakia. So that's us for today, though, guys. I'd like to thank you all very much for tuning in. I was going to go and play some iRacing later, but I believe what I'm looking to play is going to be in like an hour or something like that. So I won't trail you guys along until then, not to worry, but it has been a radiant time with you guys as usual. I very much hope you enjoyed this match. It was a very interesting match at the very least, but it does end in favour of Africa.